Today is May 5th, 2021, which means in 2 days, I'm going to be turning 27 years old. Now, this past year of my life at age 26 has been one of the wildest and very growing years of my life in a lot of ways. And I wanted to take time to just remember this year and kind of how I changed and how I transformed and kind of how I lived. I started the year off in Minnesota with my family during the pandemic, and shortly after I actually transitioned and moved halfway across the country to Arizona to move in with my girlfriend Lauren. And we were doing long distance for a really long time, and this was the first time I would be living with a significant other and be also living away from Minnesota since college. And it was a time where I was nervous and I didn't really know what was going to happen, but I was intrigued to see how Lauren and I would do and how things would go from there. During my time in Arizona, it was definitely a big challenge. The summer heat was really hot.
This is the coldest it's been since I've skateboarded ever. Let that sink into your brain. This is insanity.
Isolation was definitely high, and I struggled a tremendous amount. Financially, I was definitely stressed as well, and I had to make the transition from full-time performance coach to full-time filmmaker, which was exciting but also nerve-wracking, but that definitely kept me going. During my 26th year, I fell in love with boarding, especially penny boarding to start. And then from there, I found a longboard, and I got this on Facebook Marketplace, and I also got a skateboard later on. And these three tools became my outlet, and I skateboarded almost every day. When I came back to Minnesota, I would longboard, and in between, I would pennyboard here and there. During this year, I became more consistent with uploading to YouTube. I became more interested in documenting the things I'm doing during my normal day, and this excited me. I was putting out 3 videos a week, and I've never done this in my life. I documented more than I ever did, and that was exciting because I can have this time capsule of all these things, and that's why I love filming, and that's why I love documenting what I'm doing, because I will be able to look back on all these events later on down my life. Now, we lived in Mesa, Arizona, and this was definitely a growing time for the relationship of Lauren and myself, and I came back to Minnesota a lot. For my weddings that I was shooting, I would be flying back and forth between Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Arizona. When I would come back to Minnesota and Wisconsin, I would try to take time to go visit our family's cabin or meet up with friends and try to keep myself doing things and staying active. I really had difficulty not being in a CrossFit gym and having to makeshift my own workouts at local parks and at random places here and there. Lauren and I hit our 3 years of cumulative dating, and soon after we ended up breaking up, and that was one of the hardest things. And afterwards, I moved back here to Minnesota. I took time to visit my sister in Georgia. I was also able to travel to Tallahassee to meet up with one of my old coworkers and friends, Gunnar. And during this time, I learned how to slow down a little bit more, because I realized that in working so much in my business and having a lot of stress just in general with COVID, I was not slowing down. So one of the biggest takeaways I've learned through this year is the importance of slowing down, not just your body, but your mind. And by slowing down your body, you can slow down your mind. And for me, that was a big turning point. And it's been definitely weird being back in Minnesota. I was not planning on returning back to my room, to the house that I grew up with and have lived for so many years. And this definitely wasn't in my original plan, but here I am. And this is what I look like. This is the type of dress I usually wear. This is my favorite coffee mug. This is the book I'm currently reading. This is my favorite pair of shoes, but the shoes I wear most are actually my Crocs, and I've had these for so very long. I got into the habit of wearing blue blockers every night before bed. I also dialed in a nighttime routine really well. I think the hardest things in this past year of turning 26 was number one, losing Carly. Because I turned 26, I lost the health insurance from my parents that I was on, so I had to leave seeing my counselor Carly, who I've been seeing for almost 4 years. And that was one of the hardest blows. In the last 4 months, I've definitely gone through a lot of lows. I've really struggled with having a panic attack, with having really low waves of my depression, and lots of other weird, crazy things gone on. I did ultimately come back and find CrossFit, and I was able to actually get a part-time work, which really reinvigorated my love of the sport and the community of CrossFit, and being able to coach and help others really fulfills one of my needs. And just in general, like over this course of the year, I took a lot more time to reflect. I took a lot more time to dig really deep into who I am as a person. One of the biggest things I did was write down the things that make me feel like I'm living and make me feel like I'm not living. And I've really been wanting to become more intentional about the things I'm doing in my day-to-day life, because I think about death every single day. And I think about the end of everyone else that I love and know, and it scares me. But at the same time, it makes me want to do more. It makes me want to live more. It makes me want to take all of the opportunities that I have and make a difference, to help those around me, to support and care and show love, to give back, to give more, to do more, to live more. And that's been something that's really been a big thing, because also during this year of 2020 and into 2021, there's been a lot of craziness with life, with the world. There's a lot of disparity, there's a lot of injustice, there's a lot of conflict, and there's a lot of just crazy insanity. And I want to be a spreader of positivity. I want to care and love and support and do more for those around me. And so yeah, so this is me, 26 years old and soon to be 27. I want you to know that I would not be where I am without the support and love of those around me, of my family, of my friends, of my coworkers, of my past coworkers, of my acquaintances, of anyone that I've entered and encountered in my life. Everyone's shaped me, and these experiences have really developed where I am. And I just want to say thank you, because I'm grateful to be here. I'm grateful to be alive. It's so fascinating, this life that I've been given. So I want to extend a happy birthday to Mariah. I live for Mariah, for Uncle Scotty, for Aurora, and for Joshua. I want to continue to live for those around me and be the best person I can. Thanks for watching.